on. Yeah!
Oh,
What's going on,
that's
guys?
the way I like it.
I know, right? What's going on? Welcome to Blizz Bizz, everybody.
This
Blizz Bizz 2.0.
Ooh.
It is. It
Well,
really is,
we
though.
just got done watching BlizzCon.
We did. BlizzCon 2017.
And it was insane.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. It was good. I liked it.
You know what? We have a lot of content to talk about, and we're gonna start off with a bang here at Blizz Bizz 2.0, and we're gonna start with our favorite topic, the biggest topic, World of Warcraft.
Oh man, I feel like this is gonna be good.
So let's just let's talk about the cinematic.
Actually, before we talk about the cinematic, sorry to cut you off, it's going to sound a little different than the last couple podcasts that we did, because we're actually not in the same room this time. Now we're longer distance. I'm back at my house, and he's back at his house.
I'm in the basement. Help me.
Might be, yeah. Shh, quiet. But yeah, so it might sound like we're trying to talk over each other here and there, so just bear with us. Hopefully for the next podcast we'll be able to be in the same room. When it comes to content, there's been a lot since our last video. Our last video was 6 months ago, and a lot has happened from now till then. We're gonna skip all that because I would assume, as a Blizzard fan that you are, within 6 months you should know kind of what's going on.
We're
just gonna go, yeah. Yeah, well, I kind of was too, but we're just gonna go straight from, like, we're starting fresh. This is Blizz Bizz 2.0, and we're starting at BlizzCon. So
look,
if Heroes can do
2.0, if Heroes can do a 2.0, we can.
Exactly, we're gonna do it too. All right. So yeah, we're strictly starting right at BlizzCon, and we're going right into it. So that cinematic, though.
Oh my god, that cinematic!
Warcraft. It was so good.
This has to be. I mean, it's up there with the Lich King cinematic, honestly.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, when it comes to World of Warcraft cinematics, they never disappoint.
Oh, especially not for the expansion ones.
No, like they're all really, really good. Whether it's the detail in them, the feeling you get from your favorite races, from your favorite factions, and when it comes down to it, anytime there's a new expansion and you get to see the cinematic, it brings a whole new life to the world that you love so much. And this one is, I mean, just by watching it, there's a lot there for the PvP fans, which, they always talk about, the PvP fans never get, anything every expansion. Well, this straight up is sort of a PvP expansion.
It basically is. And I think that's a good direction to go from Legion. I liked, oh man, there's so many parts I liked. I thought when Sylvanas originally jumped and destroyed that big machine, and watching her turn in that Banshee form, I was taken aback. I was like, oh, didn't know she had that form.
Yeah, no, I'm glad I'm not the only one who didn't know she could do that. I know she had potential to do stuff, out of the ordinary, because she is. But yeah, to just scream and turn into Ghost Lady and then do whatever it is she did with the purple smoke, and then just that, as an Alliance player, just the feeling of that for the Horde that she gave was just goosebumps every time I watch it.
There was a comment in the YouTube video, on that cinematic, that really made me think what Sylvanas meant with for the Horde. I think she's now embraced that she is War Chief, and I'm thinking even maybe there'll be a new leader of the Forsaken. It might happen. And
no, I agree. I think that Sylvanas has finally, gotten over the fact that, yeah, my people can't procreate, my people will never be what they once were, but she's taking her job as war chief seriously now,
Her
and
people are now the Horde.
yeah, exactly. It's no longer the Forsaken. It's now we are the Horde.
And I think that's so powerful for Sylvanas' character going into this Battle of Azeroth expansion.
Oh yeah, I mean she's gonna have there's gonna be more to her story than ever, and it's not gonna be like past experiences or the origin stories of Sylvanas, because we've seen and heard origin stories over and over and over again throughout all of the expansions, or things she's done, things she wants to do. I think it's time that we finally see things that she's going to do. What she's going to do with her character to affect the world.
This is the first expansion where I don't think Sylvanas is going to screw up something.
Yeah. I mean, it's true. It was like anytime she was there in previous expansions, it's like, oh great, what did she mess up this time?
Not so this time.
No, this time it was. I mean, and seeing some great characters too while watching the cinematic. I was explaining to you earlier today. Sourfang was in there, and I was like, oh cool, it's a great character. And then, he gets shot, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna die. they brought him in, and now he's gonna die. Yeah. And I thought he was going to die, and so we move on, and the Four of the Horde happens, and he just yanks those arrows right out. I'm like, oh, well, I guess he's okay.
And we can't just talk about the Horde. We got to talk about how amazing the Alliance was too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it almost seemed like they were the bad guy.
And it seemed that way, but I don't think we know the whole story.
No, of course we don't. That was meant to bring questions to everybody and start conversations like that. Yeah, as the way the cinematic was going, it almost looked like the Alliance was this looming, emotionless threat that the Horde has to deal with. They're being attacked like they're the victim. But of course, there's always more to the story to that.
Yeah, it does have that role reversal, which is odd, because normally the Alliance are the good guys of the Azeroth world.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at the current expansion, a lot of our so-called heroic good characters have started making. I'm not gonna say they've been making bad decisions, but they've been not so much in character anymore, especially guys like Valen. Yeah. Valen has been, poked and prodded by the Legion since they showed up, and even before then, when they were still, leaving Argus and then arriving in Burning Crusade and still constantly being hunted by Kil'jaeden. So, you see a lot of the things that Valen had to go through and deal with, and it starts wearing down on him, and he becomes less of this docile. Well, I don't not docile, but like very very calm, approachable prophet to a sort of like a vengeful crusader.
Right.
Like,
I think the character who was most out of character was Tyrion, because he died.
Yes, he did die. He did die. I mean, that's okay though, because he needed to die.
Why wasn't he a Death Knight, Chris?
I mean, like, like opening into Legion. I'm not gonna talk too much about Legion, because it's we've all seen it a million times. But big characters have been either showing up or dropping left and right here. The beginning of the whole game, Varian died. Like that was a big deal,
right?
And that this cinematic, going right back into the current thing, this cinematic shows Anduin after all of Legion's crap thrown at him. Like he's now trying to be this warrior king and lead his armies.
I
Some people have speculated that he's a paladin now. It's not true, but I mean, you would think, now that he was wielding Charlemagne with the holy light.
no, and you're right. I don't know. I actually got emotional when uh, when Anduin got the stand together for the alliance and he called the charge. It filled me with I actually cried when he did that because you and me, we played in vanilla. We remember him when he was a kid. Now he is king. We've followed him throughout all these journeys, and watching him be that proud king on the battlefield, I mean, I can only imagine what Varian would think.
Yeah, I mean, Varian as a father would be like, get off the battlefield. What are you doing? But that would just be his dad sense talking.
You're grounded, Anduin.
Warrior, not the warrior king Logosh. But no, Anduin has had a lot of character development throughout throughout the expansions. Like you had said, we watched him as he was a kid when we were still looking for Varian, and when he's back, he's growing up more. He goes off to Pandaria and learns and tries to be, the voice of reason and be the ambassador of the Alliance. And now he's king. He had kingship thrusted upon him, and now in this cinematic we see that he's leading his armies on the front lines. And Greymane's been there. I feel like Greymane has been his counsel this whole time. Like all the leaders kind of are there for him, but I feel Greymane's been there the most to try to be like, the father figure or the uncle of some sorts. Just someone to relate to.
No, absolutely. He needs that. He needs that kind of wisdom because his father can't teach him.
Right. And I also saw this as sort of an interesting little I don't want to call it plot, but like detail. So Gen loses his son and Anduin loses his father. And now together they're helping run the alliance.
Oh, that's actually kind of
it's almost it's like they're both filling in a role for each other that they don't have anymore. And like I feel if Gen were to die in this next expansion, I feel we would see a very furious Anduin. I think the wolf would come out of him.
The lion.
Yeah, well, Varian was the wolf, but still.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel we'd see the Varian come out of him. But yeah, so I noticed that and I wanted to just kind of poke at that a bit. But yeah, cinematic was really good. I think we could probably move on from there because I think we've been talking about it for like a good 20 minutes.
About 13 minutes going in right now.
Yeah, not bad. It what do you expect? It captivated us. It was fantastic. I had a friend of mine who, never liked World of Warcraft, watched that expansion, is now playing World of Warcraft. So it sways people in a way.
Absolutely. So I want to go into some of the more detail about the expansion. One of them being that we didn't get a new race per se, but we're going to get these allied races. So allied races are going to be races you're going to be able to recruit over time. As you're doing the story, you're going to be able to recruit these allied races. The Horde are going to get the Nightborn, they're going to get the High Mountain Tribe, and they're going to get Zandalari Trolls, while the Alliance are going to get Void Elves, Dark Iron Dwarves, and what are they? Lightforge? Yeah, the Lightforge Draenei.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about the allied race kind of mechanic being introduced in Battle of Azeroth?
Well, at first when they announced it at BlizzCon, I thought it was a bit of a cop out. I was like, oh, so you're not going to give us a new race to play with or something like that. But as I watched further into it, when they went more in depth into detail on the specifics, armors that you'll get, on how your starting zone will be, you joining the alliance, how you start at level 20, your racials will be different. You'll have your own specific classes that you'll be allowed to play. Different from the other races, so it is sort of like having new races thrusted into the game, but instead of coming out like one for the Alliance, one for the Horde, now it's 3 for each of races that we know of, not just say they thrusted a race out of nowhere and now we have to try to adapt and love these things that just came out. No, we're dealing with things that we've had to deal with for the past year, essentially.
Right.
We've dealt with the High Mountain Tauren, we've dealt with the Nightborn. No matter how much I hate Suramar, the Nightborn are still decent. The Zandalari trolls is definitely the big one. Definitely the big one on that.
You heard the crowd cheer for Zandalari trolls anytime they were on the screen.
Oh yeah. And they look great. I mean, they're just upright, standing, swole, muscular trolls, just fantastic. And then the Lightforge Draenei, I'm still heads or tails on. I'm gonna be honest here. I don't see the difference between them and another Draenei other than they're darker skinned and they kind of have an echoey voice, like a death.
Well, they're gonna have like holy tattoos and holy markings. I think the racial abilities are what's really going to differentiate them from Draenei. Maybe not so much their looks.
Yeah, I mean, like the Dark Iron Dwarves. That one I'm particular to just because I've always wanted to be a Dark Iron Dwarf since vanilla. I mean, who didn't? And then with the third one. What was the third one again?
The third one was the Void Elves.
Yes, the Void Elves, which, I assume are just Night Elves or Blood Elves, and then they just have a Void form.
Well,
so
no,
that one,
because they showed off the models.
Yeah, no, I saw the models. I did see the models. They're okay, but they're not that different.
Right. No, I get what you mean.
Like it's similar to the High Mountain Tauren. Like I'm not very impressed with that one either.
Right.
Because it's just a Tauren with moose antlers instead of horns.
Big moose antlers, Chris.
Big moose
antlers. Do you
understand?
At
least the Zandalari trolls look different from our trolls. At least the Dark Iron Dwarves have different features compared to the regular dwarves. Like, the elves don't really look that different. The Tauren don't look different. The Nightborn look different. Heck, even the Lightforge Draenei, I know I just said they don't look too different, but I suppose with your different tattoo options, you might look a lot different from a regular Draenei. I don't know. These are, as they explained in in their segment, that this allied races idea is a foundation, and I like it, and I understand why we're doing it this way right now, but I would like to see some more surprising races to join in the next allied detachment, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, the next allied wave.
Yeah, the next wave of allies, I'd like to see something a little more sporadic, like, if you want to go through the different expansions, why not get like one of the blue dragon flights from Koldara in Wrath of the Lich King, or why not like a Hosen from Miss of Pandaria. I mean, who doesn't want to ook in someone's dukers?
I think that should be like a specific ability to ook in someone's dukers.
it should be like Touch of Death for monks, except it works on everyone and in PvP.
It works on raid bosses.
It does. I mean, if you could just go up to Ragnaros and say you're gonna ook in his duker, I don't think he'll know how to respond.
Okay.
He's like, I don't even know what to do with you right now.
I'm just gonna go.
It's definitely way too soon for this shit.
But I
yeah.
want to move away from the allied races. Not much more to talk about there. And I want to talk about the new continents. Kultiras
yes.
and Zandalar.
What about them? Like them? They're cool.
Well, I think they are all really cool. I took some notes on the things I liked. I like how the capital of Kultiras is led by Jaina's mom.
Oh yeah, that was, everybody was super cool about that, and we also got confirmation from Blizzard she's not a dreadlord.
Yeah, thank God.
Jaina might still be, but her mom is not.
There's like a 5% chance she's still a dreadlord.
Doubt it. I'd like to believe she's more or less under the control of the old gods, but moving on.
I like that Kultirans are monster hunters. I liked the warrior order hall. You know, them being these monster hunters-esque characters. I just think that's awesome.
Oh yeah. My favorite easily is actually not in the Alliance zone. My favorite is the desert area on Zandalar.
Ooh, Volden.
Yeah, with the little fox kit people. Like, looking at the video, with just this, you know, I'm very partial to deserts and like wastelands, and I always think if you can make a wasteland look beautiful, you've done better than the guy who can make a forest look beautiful. And they did a great job with the desert. Like, it is amazing, and the different segments of it. They've got a couple of different sort of not just sandy area, but they have a couple of rocky areas. They have an oasis. Like, it looks really good, and I'm curious to see what these fox kit people are going to be like.
I think my favorite like zone that they shut off was actually I like started in my notes, and I'll tell you exactly what I wrote. It's a Stormsong Valley in Kultiras, and it's the one where they would get their ships and they get them blessed by the water priests.
Oh yeah.
And the reason I love it, the next thing after I wrote, it says Stormsong Valley water cult, Quillboar's return.
Yeah.
We're back, baby.
Apparently, Quillboars are like one of the biggest threats on Kultiras, aside from pirates. Maybe they might even be pirate Quillboars.
Chris, you need to hold off. My pants can't take that kind of excitement.
You're wearing your jeans, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be pretty. It's gonna be pretty cool. They showed off little videos here and there of the different zones. There's only 3 on each continent, so you're gonna get your fill of each continent as you level from 110 to 120. I don't know how it's gonna go experience-wise. You might get 2 or 3 levels in one zone as opposed to, you know, like 1 to 2 levels because there's only 3 of them.
Something like that. And then you also gotta remember the other zone's gonna open up after you get to 120 as well.
Yeah.
So, as we're talking about zones, I kind of want to go into this idea of they called it zone flow.
Yeah, it's just scaling.
Yeah, it's basically just scaling.
Yeah, basically what they're going to do is they're talking about, in this next expansion, doing the level scaling that Legion has brought in the Legion questing zone to the entire world of Azeroth and the other expansions, including Outlands, Draenor, and that basically those three zones would all be scaled to certain levels. So not necessarily would you be able to take your level 1 to Burning Steps, as they use as an example, but you could take your level 1 and say go from level 1 to 20 in Elwyn Forest into Westfall or something like that, and then from level 20 you could go to some place like Ragefire Chasm, or not Ragefire Chasm, Burning Steps, or the one under Burning Steps that just looks like Burning Steps. I don't know why I can't
Searing
remember what it's
Gorge.
called. Searing Gorge, thank you. Yeah, you could go to like Searing Gorge at level 20 and level from 20 to whatever and go to Badlands and basically choose where you want to go on Eastern Kingdoms. And then once you hit the level that you would go to a new expansion, you could go to, say, if you wanted to, Burning Crusade, or from level 60 you could go right over to Wrath of the Lich King and pretty much go through the adventure how you want to do it. Because I know personally I've been trying to level up some characters because I really want to get into Cataclysm content and Mists of Pandaria content again, but I just can't seem to get a character up there and then stay dedicated to that character because the highest I got one was like 70. And as much as I love Northrend, the Northrend zones that I have the most fun with, I don't get until I'm close to getting out of Northrend.
And that's why I think it's such a good idea. They were talking about how, and I've experienced this with a non-heirloomed, non-super buffed character on a rogue I made. I was out leveling the zones really quickly, and things were just dying instantly. So
Yeah.
that kind of scaling, while not full-on level scaling like they did on the Broken Isle, this is the kind of scaling I can get behind. It's it still has a cap, and it's not max level. And
Yeah. I think it's definitely going to be a good change. On the topic of scaling, though, I won't talk too much about this, but they also talked about in their Q&A section that in this next expansion in Battle for Azeroth, they want to do another stat squish. So similar to Warlords of Draenor, we're gonna drop down in health, item level. The items are going to scale down the stamina and intellect and secondary buffs that we get from those, and they're just to even out the numbers again is what they basically said.
I'm okay with that. I like stat
Yeah,
squishes.
Yeah, I don't mind a stat squish. I don't need to be a super godly powerful character because I feel in the long run when I get to end game content and I see how hard it was for me to kill something in the beginning, and then I go, I hit max level, I hit 120, I'm a super high level, high item leveled character, and I go back to that zone, punch that cat again, and then it just dies. That makes me feel stronger,
Agreed.
I don't know. Yeah, like I don't know how else they could sort of fix that. They've also talked about fixing the heirloom stats as well, because the ability to kind of run around and one-shot things is just the way the game is right now. Heirlooms or not, you can still do it. If you make a level 1 character, so you make a warrior, that warrior is going to kill that wolf just as fast as somebody with heirlooms is going to. Now, granted, once they get to a higher level, the heirlooms will start making a little bit more of a big difference. But
a little bit
they're
more
talking
of a
about
big difference.
Yeah, they're talking about just making heirlooms more of a XP armor set and not a advantage / XP armor set.
I like that.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm sick of wearing the same armor till like 100 or something of that nature. If it can just be like a buff, that'd be a lot better.
Well, it won't be a buff, but I mean transmogging is always going to make it so you don't have to look the same for however many levels.
Yeah, but they're gonna pay for that.
Well, I have them out, so it's not like you have to go wandering around for it.
They call me the Wanderer. Anyway.
So,
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, so getting out of zone scaling, they are actually. I'm gonna backtrack here a little bit. Last thing about zone scaling, they also talked about in their Q&A section that they might, because of the success of time walking events, they're talking about zone scaling those dungeons as well. So, if there's, say, like I can't think of an example on the spot here, but basically a dungeon that you would do in a certain zone depending on what level you are. So if you're just now going to level 60 and you chose to go to Pandaria, all of those Pandaria dungeons will also scale down to level 60 as well with you.
Oh crap, that's awesome.
Yeah, so not 100% in the works, but they did talk about doing that.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna move on to the next topic on the expansion. There's still a couple more things for the expansion, and then we can move on to the other array of Blizzard games to talk about.
Oh yeah, well, and that's the thing is to just kind of take a sec. It's the World of Warcraft is going to be a really big one right now. Not only because it's our favorite Blizzard game, but it's the biggest Blizzard game, and with a new expansion comes so much new content, so much new story. So there is a lot to cover, and we're gonna get to those other games, even though they will probably get outshined, mostly because they don't have as much that got revealed.
Right. So the next idea, the next thing they threw at us was island expeditions. I really like this feature. You
Yeah.
get to it's a three-player co-op scenario and a race to complete objectives. I like this. I think this is really nice.
Yeah, I see it as sort of like a small scale like dungeon or scenario. Yeah, that it's just something different, and it kind of plays along with the story of finding new islands to garrison, going back to an island that got re-garrisoned by the enemy, and now you got to take it back. Or I think one of their examples was a roving band of Mogu take over the area, and then you guys have to fight over it again. Like we're gonna see a lot of old, just like old trash mobs or old races coming back to these islands and taking over, and we have to take it back before the Alliance of the Horde does.
Yeah, and I love that.
Yeah, I think it's a nice added little extra to keep us all a part of the Horde versus Alliance war. Like I feel if there is some sort of extra story that they'll get deeper into, where we'll fight another big enemy or whatever, that'll keep the idea that hey, we're still fighting each other, even though there's a
Absolutely.
thing going on.
And to further emphasize that kind of battle between us, there's also war fronts, which are 20-player versus NPC or PvP armies, where it's basically the evolution of RTS games.
Yeah, you're essentially not the you're not the point and clicker anymore of an RTS. You are now one of those soldiers in the RTS,
It's
and
beautiful.
it is it's an interesting idea, and I'm really curious to see how they're going to implement it. I wonder if there's going to be, because with that many players, with 20 players, who's going to be the point and clicker? I almost wonder if everybody's going to have the ability to build troops or build up garrisons or set up defenses, or if there's going to be specific people assigned to that job, almost like you're queuing up for it. Um, I'm not sure how it's going to work. I like the sound of it though. Like personally, as a PvEer, I like the idea of 20 men versus NPC armies. Um, that's very appealing to me. So I'm excited to see what that's going to bring to the table.
Oh yeah, and I'm a PVEer with you, but we can't. This expansion really focused a lot on getting rid of the divide between PvE and PvP. So I want to talk about the PvP updates and the World PvP updates. With the PvP updates coming in the next couple patches, there's going to be 2 new arenas, a new battlegrounds, you know, simple stuff, things you'd expect within the expansions, so that's nothing crazy. The battleground is in Silithus, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, there's something in Silithus that Blizzard was hinting at when they told us that that's where the battleground was. They're like, oh, we have no idea why they're fighting there. I'm like, don't you lie to me, you cheeky. Like, you know why we're fighting there. You just don't want to spoil it. I have my suspicions on why we're fighting there.
It's the kobolds,
but, you know,
isn't it?
if you know me, my suspicions always go back to old gods because that's just what I want. That is what I want in every outcome because I am an old god supporter.
My suspicions, they go back to Hogger.
Oh yeah, I mean, he was there from the start.
He is the old god.
You think you think he's Nazoth's boss?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I could see that. But yeah, it's I like that they've kind of separated PvP and PvE in a way to where the new system is, especially with the realm divides that they wanna do now. So you'll be able to decide, go to like say a major city like Stormwind or Orgrimmar, and choose whether you'd like to be in world PvP or in a PvE. So if you're on the same server, you just will only see people that have made the same decision as you.
I love this decision. I love it so much.
Yes, it's something that should have it's something that should have been implemented a while ago, but we might not have had the technology to do it, or maybe the idea never came up. But there's something to this system that's gonna shake World of Warcraft and bring it to a good place, though. You know, like no more getting ganked as a PvE player. No more, boring, quiet, low pop servers for a PvPer. Like you're always gonna get what you want, and I've noticed this with Blizzard as of recent. A lot of and not just World of Warcraft, but a lot of their games are letting you choose what you want to do, and I think that's the new age of Blizzard, is that they're going to they're giving us the materials, and we're building what we want out of those materials.
It seems I like that idea that Blizzard is giving us the power. We've always wanted it. We've asked for it. Give us this, give us that. It'll be amazing. Well, now Blizzard's saying, look, you want it, you can have it. But, it's your fault if it doesn't work out.
Right. No, and that's totally fine.
I'm perfectly happy with that.
Yeah. Now, what they've done to zones, it's going to be good.
So, is there anything else you wanted to discuss about the expansion? Things I might have missed, even?
Well, yeah, I have an entire list here that you didn't mention any of it. So, I'm going to go through my list now because some ignorant twat decided not to mention all the other cool stuff that's happening.
I mean, I have it in list form. We just talked about all of it very fast.
Oh, not even. So, artifacts. Artifacts are leaving come Battle for Azeroth.
Oh,
so
yeah.
your artifact weapon. Yeah, listen to you now. Oh yeah.
Oh, shut up. I
Yeah.
write it down.
Yeah, your artifact. It's okay. It's okay. If I was there, I would slap you. Your artifact item will be leaving come the end of Legion. They said that they're going to go out in a spectacle, and they're going to have a grand exit. So my hope, if I could throw my fan theory out there, I'm hoping is
what that actually means is old god theory.
Okay, stop spoiling it. No, when like what I'm hoping is that, you know, at some point, you know, whenever we have to stop the great power, whether it be Sargeras trying to crawl out of the twisting nether, or whether it be us stopping Argus the Unmaker in the new raid that still hasn't come out yet. Um, you know, we throw all the power we have in our mighty artifacts at these enemies, and it stops them, but in turn you trade all that power away to save Azeroth or something, or it shatters and it saves Azeroth. Um, so hopefully something on the lines of that, and then the old gods come out. That's my part. but, but yeah, so that's what I hope happens. But they're supposed to go out in a spectacle, so that'll be cool. And you get a new artifact come Battle for Azeroth. It'll be a neck piece, I believe that it was.
Yeah, it's the heart of Azeroth.
Yeah, the heart of Azeroth that Magni gives you, and you power it up with Azerite or something like that. There's like a, yeah, it's like an Azerite bits or essence that it will level up with you as you collect it in questing and dungeons. And it's essentially going to be what your weapon was, but now you'll be able to. Now there'll be new weapons in the game again.
Yeah,
you know,
thank
like
God.
Yeah, like we've had a whole expansion where not a single new weapon was designed. And that's not necessarily a bad thing because I liked artifacts and it was a really cool idea. I'm not saying it was terrible at all. And a lot of the artifacts had really cool looks. But what makes this exciting is that we had a whole year and some change now because we had the year of Legion, and now we're going to have another half a year before Battle for Azeroth comes out, depending on if they release it in the summer. If they release it in the fall again, we got another year. But regardless of how much time, they'll have that much time plus the year that Legion gave us to design new weapons and to design new crazy particle effects to come off of legacy or legendary weapons. And you know, there's a lot of good that can come from that gap. You know, they could have used designs that were going to be in this expansion or in the current expansion, and instead not use them there and then move them to the next one. I'm hoping to see a lot of faction-based weaponry because, you know, it's Horde versus Alliance, so why wouldn't we see, you know, like an Alliance staff for mages that has like the lion at the top of the hilt, and then it's just this long blue and yellow crystalline staff. Like, you know, that'd be kind of cool.
I don't think that's not really like embraced like anywhere in World of Warcraft. Like, even with like guard armor, that's not really like it's like, hey, this guard armor is really good. It's like, yeah, you can make it if you want, but I think that should be something like pushed. Like, oh man, be part of the Alliance. Wear this cool like Alliance battle regalia or things of that nature.
Yeah, well, I mean, your PvP gear at some point, like back in vanilla, your PvP gear kind of showed off that you were for the Alliance or for the Horde. But I think because, you know, this is such a faction versus faction based expansion, that I would like to see a lot of weapons that sort of have maybe like a chain, and then at the end of it is an Alliance lion or a Horde symbol or an axe or something,
right?
Or a lot of. Or like, you know, like just armor with the tassels that maybe have the Horde or Alliance colors. You know, something that really is faction embraced. But I think that's what's going to be good about having weapons, new weapons back in the game, is that we're going to be able to see so many new designs. The Azerite armor is essentially like your artifact as well. It's going to be armor that will level up with you, but you have to decide. I think they explained something like you have to decide what armor piece you want to wear, because you can only wear a certain amount, and you'll never find a piece that's better than your Azerite, so you don't have to worry about, oh, is this new thing that I picked up from a dungeon better than the Azerite pants I'm already wearing? No, because your Azerite pants will always get better.
Because Azeroth cares about you.
Right. Yeah, Azeroth, cares about who you are and what you do, and that you eat a healthy breakfast and go to school. Um, that that's all that Azeroth cares about. Azeroth is a good mom.
Azeroth
right?
is the best mom, and Magni's the dad.
He's the dad. I don't know how we all came from that, but that's another story. That's not my department. So yeah, Azerite armor. That's pretty much all we really know about it right now. They gave like a demo of the UI that it would look like, so it might not look like that in the end, but that's what it was. So that's all we know about that right now. Let's see. There's 10 new dungeons coming into Battle for Azeroth.
Ooh.
They showed a list of the 10 dungeons, but the one that caught my eye the most, and the one they actually brought up because it probably intrigued a lot of the audience, was the island home of the goblins, Kazan. So,
I'm very interested in this.
Same here. Like after Deathwing attacked and, we thought Kazan gone, it's back again and it's a dungeon. Who knows what took over after the Cataclysm? Like, how long ago was Cataclysm? How long have the goblins been a part of the Horde now? It's been quite some time. So, anything could have taken up refuge on Kazan while we were gone.
Including old gods.
Including old gods, not limited to old gods, and might also feature old gods. But yeah, you never know. There's a lot of cool stuff. There is one raid that they talked about that was I think they called it the Emerald Nightmare of Battle for Azeroth, because it's going to be the first raid put into the game, or put into this expansion. It is a Zandalari raid. I don't remember exactly what the name of it was, but yeah, it's going to be a Zandalari based raid with a lot of blood trolls, and they hinted at a dark power that was seething from the temple. Potential old god.
Well, I wouldn't say old god, because they were talking about how this is more of like a laboratory where they experimented on them. They were saying maybe it's more of a weapon that the old gods, or that the Titans used, instead of maybe an old god themselves.
It's possible, but the only reason I throw out the old god idea is that this facility that we're going to, it's where the Black Empire was.
Right.
It's in that area, so it, like you said, it could be a Titan weapon that was there to fight against the Black Empire. It could be something holding an old god together that we might wake up. Like, who knows? There's tons of things that could be done. I do love the look of this raid, though. It looks like a giant Mayan palace, and I think that's why I really love these Zandalari trolls, is because their whole gimmick is like they're Mayans. So they have a lot of the crazy sun god, moon god headdresses. We're gonna explore a lot of the Loa in this expansion as well.
I cannot wait for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be, oh god, it's gonna be so great.
I'm so glad we're getting a troll expansion.
Yeah, well, it's about time we got a troll expansion where they didn't ruin something. And here's something I want to point out real quick about the Zandalari. Still not totally convinced that that should be an allied race, considering the last time we heard of the Zandalari, they brought a certain Thunder King back to life and tried to kill us all. So
yeah, but that was like 10 years
know.
ago. Who even remembers that?
I mean, I know I do, because Lei Shen was amazing.
Yeah, but you got a cool battle out of it, so what are you complaining about?
Pandas. I don't know.
Oh.
I just want to say pandas. So yeah, new raid will be cool. Another big point for this expansion that I don't know why you forgot it. We're finally battling Queen Ajara.
We
We're
are killing
finally
her.
Going to kill that stupid woman. She has been poking us and taunting us since 2006. And we're finally going to kill her.
Not a night elf version of her, not an image of her. No, her.
Yeah, the actual Queen Ajara. We're going to stop her. We're going to stop the Naga threat. Because unlike, say, the demon threat, if we were to stop or seal or kill Sargeras, the demons will always be there because that's the twisting nether. The demons were there before Sargeras joined them. The thing is, with the Naga threat, without Queen Ajara, there's no one strong enough to lead the Naga, so they eventually will stop being a threat. They'll more or less become what the Scourge has sort of been. You know, like they're not a threat anymore, but they're just kind of there.
Like gnolls.
So like gnolls. Like, well, I mean that. Damn it, that could be like bears. You can't say
Hey, man.
gnolls.
How many bear rumps do you need to collect for your quest, Chris?
But yeah, so beating Queen Ajara, it's gonna be great. Can't wait for that.
Bring a smile to
next
everybody.
thing on.
Put it on a t-shirt. I killed Queen Ajara.
Yeah. Where were you when we killed Queen Ajara? Next thing on my list, they're going to bring back, and they did say this in their panel, that they're going to bring back class buffs such as Mark of the Wild and Arcane Intellect. They're going to bring those back.
Thank God.
I know it's awesome. I
was
cannot
so
wait for
mad
this.
when they removed them. I was like, "What? I feel useless to the team as a mage. I can't increase intellect to everyone."
I know. Well, and this is the point that they made too. They're like, yeah, you know, you get into a dungeon or a raid now or before a big boss fight, you throw down a feast and everybody eats for like 30 seconds and then you go and fight. No, there's no initial setup anymore. There's no, you know, hey, can I get wild? Can I get inty? Can I get you know, the paladins still have 3 buffs. You know, can I get kings? You know, there's just it's going to bring a sense of preparation, working together again. You know, priests are gonna get power word fortitude again.
Yay!
Who doesn't love power word fortitude?
I get stamina again.
Yeah, like there was such a feeling when you were setting up and you saw Mark of the Wild pop up and your stamina went up a little more and you saw your health kind of blip and then you got power word fortitude and bam, your health blips again. You're like, wow, I have so much health right now.
Like, you feel powerful when, you know, your team's getting buffed and, like, you're the tank or something, and everyone's putting their buffs on you. You need to feel that kind of power in a dungeon. You need to feel confident that, like, okay, everything is set, let's go. We don't just have to, like, just... I hate how dungeons nowadays are just, let's just run through it, who the heck cares? I missed when there was even just the slightest bit of just something to do. Let me throw down a buff. Let me mark some people. I miss those days.
Yeah, well, from what Blizzard was saying is that in Battle of Azeroth, those days are coming back. You know,
Yes.
You know, with buffs coming back and everybody being able to buff the party, that's just a fantastic opportunity for Blizzard to create stronger bosses. So
Absolutely.
instead of having enrage timers, instead of having raid wipes, they can just make a stronger boss with more mechanics because now our stats are higher.
And then they get squished.
So, yeah, well, they are going to get squished, but that's just, again, we're going to be able to buff them. And that's all that matters.
Yeah, that is all that matters.
So that's going to bring some cool stuff back that we all really, really missed. Some character creation options that will be coming actually before Battle for Azeroth. They mentioned in their Q&A that they wanted to add some more character customization options for making new characters. When the 6 allied races come out, that might be what they use as their new character creation options, which would be fine. That's not a big deal to me. The big one for me is the one that's coming in the next patch. They said it was either going to be in the next patch or the one before that, or the one after that. Sorry, where they're going to let you create an upright standing orc. Your orcs will not be hunched over anymore. You will all stand tall like Thrall.
Or Garrosh.
No, Garrosh was hunched over.
Was he? No, he was up straight.
No, Garrosh was hunched over. He was just very big. Garrosh is one, if not the biggest orc we've ever had, like on our team before.
Bigger than Broxigar?
Yes.
Oh.
Broxigar was great, but Garrosh was bigger.
And bigger is better.
Bigger is better,
We're from Texas.
we're definitely not. We're definitely not from Texas. Yeah. So it'll be cool to make your upright orc. I know I'm gonna do it. We're gonna start a trending hashtag here. Hashtag tall like Thrall. That's what every orc is gonna be now. I'm very excited.
Chris, your improv skills scare me sometimes. You did not tell me about this hashtag.
I didn't. I just came up with it right now. Basically, with the character creation again, they're not doing upright trolls, and I'm okay with this. Mostly because the Zandalari model is a standing upright troll.
Well,
they're
exactly.
also just very muscular. So I'm okay with that. As long as I have my tall like Thrall, I'm good to go.
Tall like Thrall. Someone please put that. If you could put that in the comments, hashtag tall like Thrall. Put that in every video you see Thrall in. That's
right. That's his new thing, because we're all gonna be tall like Thrall. I can't wait. So the main characters that we see so far are Jaina, Sylvanas, Anduin, and Thrall. Sorry.
I can't wait to see the Proudmoore family do stuff and how Jaina's gonna react to seeing her mother and father.
Well, and that's the thing. We haven't seen Jaina since the whole thing about bringing the Horde back into Dalaran.
Right.
Like she pushed out all of the Horde from Dalaran. Khadgar and the Council come in and say, "Yo, you can't do that," and then she just left. So, from what Blizzard says, is that Jaina has been on Koltiris this whole time.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, she's been there, and we're meeting her there. So this whole time during this demon invasion, she's just kind of been at her summer home, like
with pirates and Quillboards.
With pirates, yeah. I mean, well, as if you're a super powerful frost mage, pretty sure pirates are on the bottom of the to-do list.
Okay, but Quillboars are on the top.
Right. Well, because they might be Quillboar pirates. And they might also be druids, and that's not a good combination.
They can become parrots,
druids.
Chris.
And they might be possessed by old gods, and they might be old god druid pirate Quillboars.
Perhaps we are old gods.
Nah, I think I would know.
Would you though?
I don't know. I don't fancy myself making sounds all the time. So
ooh, do that closer to the mic.
But yeah, so it'll be cool to see where the characters go from there. Especially like the thing with Jaina, she's been gone this whole time on Koltiris. Thrall has been gone since he gave you the Doomhammer. So what is Thrall gonna do? What has he been doing? What's he gonna do when you find out he threw his hammer away? Like...
I think the question we should be asking is, what does he think of Sylvanas' horde?
Yeah, what does he think of the horde that he built and then left behind? How does he think it's going? Is he gonna take the horde back? I mean,
Ooh.
ultimately, I feel Thrall has every right to take the horde back if he wanted to.
I think there could be something similar with Anduin and Jaina too. Maybe Jaina will see Anduin and go like, "You're no king. You just don't have the ability." Because even she's shown like resentment because Anduin's like, "Look, we need to put aside our differences. Demons are coming."
Yeah, no, well, Anduin's been the like-minded, cool-headed uh, king that we expected him to be. Jaina has just been getting crazy and crazier as time goes on.
Ever since the Theramore thing.
Yeah, well, regardless of whether she thinks Anduin is a great king or not, um, she can't take the throne from him.
No.
Like if anything, she would recommend that someone else lead the alliance, whether it be a different faction leader or Greymane taking over Stormwind, which I don't think he would do, out of respect to Varian.
Right. All I'm saying is that there could be some conflict between Jaina, as she's been on Kul Tiras, showing these different things and not seeing what the Legion has done.
Oh yeah, I
and with
totally
Anduin
agree.
and his leadership skills.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's definitely going to create some conflict.
I mean, we even
so yeah,
need. Go ahead.
Say what?
You're good, man.
No, I lost what I was going to say.
No, I
Cut this
just
part
think that it might. We might be able to hear even Thrall and Anduin talking, because they don't have any bad blood.
No.
I could see them talking, and Thrall's sitting there trying to wonder if he's gonna take back his horde, or if even he has the right to do anything. The elements aren't talking to him. He's given up the Doomhammer. He has no horde. I mean, where is he right now? He's basically nobody, and
Yeah.
Anduin's kind of just this lost prince become king. You know, he gets, guidance from Greymane, but he's not able to fully be the king he knows Varian wants him to be.
Yeah. Well, and that's his problem too. Is it's not really a problem. It's just one of his uh, downfalls, I guess you could say, or I can't think of a good word, but it's something that eats away at him. Is like, hey, you know, is my father proud of me? I don't know if I'm doing a good job. Um, he sort of had a good moment when he found that the piece of Charlemagne, and he, kind of reconvened with Varian through the light.
Right.
And that was enough to push him to be brave and be the warrior king that he is now. But I feel he's going to need more guidance than ever at this point, whether it be from Greymane, whether it be from Thrall. Thrall is the kind of guy that could just walk into Stormwind.
Yeah, I think he could just walk in, say hello to some people, go buy some bread, and then just be like, "All right, I'm going back to Orgrimmar, bitches."
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's the thing. He's still a part of the Earthen Ring, so he's not bound to Horde or Alliance, which he could, if he wanted to, walk into either of the cities and be cool with it. So it's interesting to think about where he's gonna fit in, where he doesn't have anything.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to see these characters come to life.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cool. Speaking of, this is just a little side note thing, but it's something that's kind of bothered me since this expansion has played out, this current Legion expansion.
Mm-hmm.
Since Illidan has awoken, he has not seen Malfurion yet. That bothers me.
That needs to change.
Because I was waiting for that moment. I wanted to see what was going to happen. Will there be bad blood? Will there be brotherly love? Will there be, I'm not saying that they're going to embrace each other, but Illidan, he cares for his brother. You know, they, even though he, locked him away for, so many years, and Illidan was just trying to do the right thing, I still feel like their confrontation would have been really powerful, and Blizzard has yet to have them be face to face yet.
But boy, did we get a bunch of Prophet Valen nobody asked for. I mean, if you love Valen, oh boy, we got the expansion for you.
Dude, we have 2 expansions for you. If you're a big fan of Prophet Valen, when you first met him in Burning Crusade, when he just looked like a regular Draenei with a stick, and then he got his biggest push in Warlords of Draenor, where he became a big deal and then went boom. And then he became a big deal again because it was the other him that went boom, and now it's the regular him, and now he's cool.
So, to all 6 of you Prophet Valen fans out there, time to play. Time to play World of Warcraft.
The time is now. Yeah, that's just one thing that bothered me, is that I really wanted to see, as a very big Illidan fan, I wanted to see what their confrontation would be.
Okay, but Argus the Unmaker is freaking awesome.
He is cool. Getting away from characters here, just some minor things here. Blizzard did say that come the next expansion, or depending on whatever the patch may be, whether it's the next one or the one after, if there is an authenticator attached to your account, they're actually going to increase your bag space.
Which I like.
don't know by how much, but they will be doing it. And yes, I do like this too.
Put authenticators on your account.
Yeah, I mean, it's free now. It was one thing when you had to buy it and you got like the weird keychain thing, but now it's just free and you could do it on your phone. So, do it. It's free.
Protect your account.
Yeah, it's more bag space. Be a hoarder, man. Come on, give it the times.
Like, come on, you can hold Onyxia's head in your backpack for as long as you want. No one will judge you.
That's right. I won't. Nefarian won't.
Deathwing might.
Deathwing might, but he's also dead.
Yeah, who cares? He's dead.
And then the last thing that I want to cover with the new expansion is the we're gonna get more character slots. That's it. I don't know how many, but we're getting more character slots.
So to all you alcoholics out there, Chris.
Us. Us. Don't even try to throw me in that category.
No, I'm a horrible alcoholic. I need help.
You are the embodiment of Mr. I'm gonna make a character, level him to 5, get bored, or never play him again.
Hey, whoa. It's level 8. Thank you.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Is it? I don't believe it. Yeah. But yeah, that's Battle for Azeroth, man. When we hear more new things about it, I'm gonna watch this expansion's Path to Glory like a hawk. So anything new comes up, hopefully we can get it into the next episode and just touch up on it real quick.
Oh, definitely.
Because they're definitely, until the new Legion the new Legion raid comes out, there really won't be much more to talk about World of Warcraft. We'll kind of just we've mentioned it in a previous podcast before, but we'll probably just do our own little segments of what ifs, or what expansions did we like, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I think we talked about a while back.
Oh yeah.
We'll probably do that. We're gonna do our best to make this a weekly show. Hopefully schedules line if it comes down to making it.
Praying.
Yeah. We'll try. We'll definitely try. But yeah, that's World of Warcraft as of right now.
Well, that's the expansion. There was one other piece of World of Warcraft news.
There is.
Oh, yes. And it's something, as a community, we all wanted. Something
I cried.
that...
I was in the back of my buddy's car, and I started bawling. And he's like, the hell's wrong with you? And I was like, you won't understand, bro.
You're 26. Why are you crying?
I'm allowed to cry.
But, and I hope you all are sitting for this. Blizzard.
Or standing. You fall, it's funny.
Blizzard. Blizzard has announced that they are going to be doing vanilla legacy servers for realsies.
World of Warcraft Classic.
Oh.
Yay! Yay! All right. We had to show some real excitement. We can't give like fake sarcastic yays. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. It's a big deal. It is a big frickin' deal.
No, it really is.
Like, it's going to be so great. You're going to get the level 1 through 60 experience, the same one that you had back in 2004 and 2005.
We get Edwin back.
Yes, Edwin Van Cleef will be back. I know you're happy about that.
And the confusing Sunken Temple.
I'm happy that we're going to get Old Naxxramas back. You know, like, that's going to be great. Because I never got to do Old Naxxramas. I got to do a lot of the old World of Warcraft stuff, you know, back in vanilla, but I was never there for things like the old Naxxramas, and I wasn't there for the big server crashes when Silithus opened up, or when Encourage opened up.
Yeah, I'm wondering how they're gonna do that, how they're gonna open up Encourage, or, you know, introduce Naxxramas. I'm
They're
shaky
probably
on
just
how
going
that's
to
gonna
be
be
in the game.
It'd be interesting. But, I mean, those were events with the opening of Encourage.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying they're going to do the opening again, but I'm saying that's the thing that I wasn't there for.
Right.
So I also didn't do Encourage when it was new. You know,
I wasn't doing that either. I was fighting you to get on the computer.
Yeah, I did Molten Core, and I did Nefarian's Lair.
Wait, you did Molten Core?
I did.
What?
Yeah, man.
You've never told me that.
Yeah, I did Molten Core. That was when I had my old, the original Karandraz, the Dwarf Warrior.
Oh, man, that brings back memories.
Right, I know. Good times. But yeah, it's going to be really good. Everything's going to be in the new graphics, though, so it's going to be the old World of Warcraft, the old leveling system, maybe with a few tweaks here and there. All the old stuff pre-Cataclysm, so all the old quests that we know and love so much that had a lot of pop culture in it from way back in the day. It's going to be... it's just going to be magical, man. It's going to be so great, and everything is still going to look pretty. They said it's going to take a very long time to get that to work, but to know that it's in the works is good enough for me.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it's not coming out anytime soon. It might not even come out in the next 2 years. But if they keep us updated, and if we know they're working on it, that's all that matters to me.
Yeah, that's all I need. I do not care.
Because when it's out, it's out.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you and me were having a discussion earlier on whether it's going to be a separate server, if it's going to be a separate game altogether, like it's a different launcher you open, which I think that actually might be the case there. Even though they did say classic server, I think that would work out better with like a different launcher.
I could see that. Then it's not conflicting with the current Blizzard servers.
Well, it's like, because they're doing that for the Starcraft remasters. They have a separate client for that. So I think that's where we're getting with Blizzard Classic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be magical. Everyone be excited for it. Be excited. Be excited.
I hear you, John, in the back. You're not excited.
Yeah, John. Spells it with 2 N's.
Nerd. But we're going to get to the... Because you
3
thought,
J's.
If you thought World of Warcraft had a lot of news, step back. Because Diablo is here with their news. So, Chris, why don't you go ahead and start us off with all the Diablo news?
I will. So, going into BlizzCon, I was super excited about all the games and the new expansion, blah blah blah. So, I was, scrolling through the schedule because I wanted to make sure I got my Diablo stuff right away. The first two, bam, bam, right there. The two segments for Diablo 3. They were really good. They were awesome. I didn't watch them. They were stupid. They were stupid.
Chris, no,
two
Chris.
segments.
But the Necromancer.
Shut up. 2 segments for Diablo 3. It was the visual effects for the Necromancer. Worthless. Useless. The Necromancer has been out for months. What have we not seen already?
But Chris, have you not seen the Necromancer?
I guess not. I guess I didn't use my right eyes to see it.
You didn't even buy it yet.
I know. I'm not going to.
But Chris, Necromancer.
That was the first segment, or the second. I don't know. I didn't watch them. The other segment was the Diablo community, and how awesome they are.
We put in that silence intentionally because that's the Diablo community's reaction to that.
That was an intentional cut.
I mean, what sensible Diablo player wanted to have 2 panels, one about something we already know, and the other discussing it? Oh, you guys are just the greatest. We love these Diablo fans. No, Blizzard. No, you give us something exciting.
What sensible producer of Diablo, what sensible creator of Diablo, game designer, art developer, who thought that was a good idea? Like, I'm sure the Diablo community is cool. I'm part of that community. I'm pretty cool. You're all right. Like, the Diablo community is the Diablo community is a thing. The Diablo community is a thing. That's all you need to know. Why do we care about user-created dungeons? All you're doing is moving squares into a different position attached to other squares and putting skeletons in those squares. And then attacking the skeletons in that square.
And then forgetting who even made the dungeon because it's not unique.
And then you realize you're playing Diablo 2!
Wait a second. This is Fate. This isn't even Diablo.
Not even a Diablo game.
Blizzard,
so,
what are you doing?
Yeah, Blizzard, just anything. You could have just announced you had another level. Just another level.
You could have just said, hey, by the way, we're going to add a new class. Done. That's all you need to say.
You don't even have to add a new class. Sometimes that's too much work for the Diablo development team. Sometimes you could just say, hey, we brought in a new Nephilim Rift skybox.
Something to make us excited.
Like, I would have been okay with that. Like, oh, instead of a blue ceiling, now it's pink and exciting.
We got this new feature that makes Azmodan blue. Go nuts.
Or he's not feeling too well. He's really sad. That's why he's blue. I want the expansion, not the expansion. I want the Diablo add-on created by the Diablo developers that gives Malthael a British accent.
Please.
That's what I want.
Please.
No one stops death, governor. Like, that's what I want. That's what I want.
I will pay like $20 for this.
I will pay $20 for that over $20 for the Necromancer.
Yes. Oh my god, please.
Necromancer's pay to win. British Malthael's gold. That's what that is.
Oh god. Is there anything else you'd like to say, Chris?
No.
Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next game, Starcraft 2.
Starcraft 2!
So, there was really one major announcement for Starcraft 2. And it's going free to play.
It is.
Alright. I like it.
Yeah. It's cool.
I wouldn't have paid for it otherwise, so I guess, it being
Still gotta
free.
pay for the expansions, though.
that doesn't matter. I mean, it's like I'll pay for an expansion, but it's like that game at first, like I don't know. I'm not that big of an RTS player. I already have Dawn of War, and I don't know if I'm gonna get this. I'll never play it. But the lore seems so cool. So
Oh yeah.
with StarCraft 2 going free to play, I figure why not share the experience here on YouTube, on this channel, and it'll be solo. Chris won't be joining me for it. I'm going to be going through the campaign of StarCraft 2, the original, just vanilla StarCraft 2, and yeah, I'll be going through it here on this channel with a small playthrough.
Oh man, did you just announce a solo playthrough video
I
series?
just did!
Oh man, dude, that's so original.
I know. Who would have thought about putting a gameplay video on YouTube?
Right? I mean, it's not like it's super popular to watch unpopular people play video games these days.
Yeah. Who does that?
I don't know. I guess you do now.
I guess that's just my job now.
Yeah, that's okay. You can put me in spirit and then like take quotes from our recordings and then just throw them in there every once in a while.
Honestly, I might. Don't tempt me.
you can like just voice over the cutscenes when they're like, you know, trying to stop the scourge and they're or not the scourge. Wow, my head is still not done with Warcraft yet.
Can you play some Warcraft 3, Chris?
I might. All right, you know what? Joke's over. We're moving on.
We're
StarCraft 2 is going free to play. Alex is gonna play video games, and you should watch it. I might make some snarky comments. He might voice me over saying to Pablo or something stupid like that.
Next! Next is going to be our Heroes of the Storm segment. There's a couple changes coming. If you want to talk about the characters being added.
The characters.
The characters.
So yeah, first off, I'm just gonna say Heroes of the Storm has turned into one of my main Blizzard games. Like I love and cherish Heroes of the Storm, pretty much almost on the same level as I do World of Warcraft. Not so much as like World of Warcraft holds the nostalgic factor and the childhood factor, and I love everything about it factor. Heroes of the Storm is just a really fun game, and it's got a lot of those iconic characters in it, and I play the crap out of that game, and I'm pretty good. Watch me. Maybe I'll do a gameplay, and you can watch me on my Facebook page or something.
Oh snap! Did you just announce a Facebook playthrough stream of Heroes of the Storm?
No!
Ba-da-bup!
I might have. I might have just done that. I don't know. We'll find out. I gotta get good first.
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
I know. I'm okay. I'm pretty average. But anyway, off topic here. So yeah, I really love Heroes of the Storm. So, they revealed a cinematic for Heroes of the Storm, which I mean is pretty typical of Blizzard nowadays when it comes to heroes. When they want to reveal something, they create a sweet cinematic for it. 2 new characters were in this cinematic. They first showed Hanzo from Overwatch, who will be joining the other fighters in the Nexus. Not a big Hanzo fan, but I still feel he will fit in better in a MOBA than Genji does.
Yes.
So I am excited for Hanzo. Not so that, you know, I'm gonna constantly play him and never shut up about him, because again, I'm not that big of a fan. But I do believe he is more of a welcome face than past characters. The second character to come into Heroes of the Storm, and my true bride to be, Alex Straza, the Lifebinder, Queen of the Red Dragonflight.
See, this is what's confusing to me. You say bride to be, but in Miitomo, where I made World of Warcraft Miitomo, you're married to Chromie, so
That's not me.
it is you. You made
My
him.
heart belongs to one lady, and that's her. belongs to the life binder.
But then why is the background of your phone Sally Whitemane?
You just like to complicate things, don't you?
I mean, I'm just asking questions. What's wrong with asking questions?
Yeah, it's not an interview. This is supposed to be a podcast. You're not interviewing me. This isn't episode 1.
Listen, buddy, I don't think you realize what the description of the channel is. An interview-style podcast.
Oh, snap. I don't read. So are we going to get back to the important questions then here? Like, why is Sally Whitemane on the back of my phone?
I mean, the world wants to know. It was on the head of the World of Warcraft news.
Oh man, really? Jeez.
Yeah.
That's pretty important. We're actually way more popular than I thought we were.
Yeah, I know. We have a whole, like, 2 subscribers.
Dang, it's 3. Jeez, you can't count. Together,
okay.
We're both illiterate.
Let's go back to your bride-to-be.
Yes, I love her. So yeah, she's going to be a really powerful ranged support character.
A burst healer.
She's burst and sustain healer.
Oh,
so
is she?
she's best of both worlds when it comes to healing. Her passive ability is she has the ability to transform into her dragon form. And her basic attack becomes a cone fire attack that goes a little further than her regular basic attacks, and then her healing powers that she has are amplified. She uses her health pool to heal you. So when she's in her normal form, her Q will give you a small little burst heal at the cost of a little bit of her health. So her W is a ground AoE healing ability that she puts down in an area, and after I think a good like 1.5 to 2 seconds, a big burst heal happens. So everybody who's standing on that circle will get the burst heal, and it's a health percentage heal. She's the first. Yeah, she's the first and only right now health percentage healer. So you could potentially get a lot of health back from her depending on your health pool or depending on how much health you have missing.
You hear that, Cho'Gall mains?
Yeah. Get ready, Cho'Gall mains, because Alexstrasza will also be your boo. But she's mine, so don't touch her.
I ship it.
Thanks. I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so she's gonna be really helpful. When she goes into her dragon form, her heals don't take health, so for that limited bit of time while she's a dragon, her Q will just be healing you. When she's not in her dragon form, and her E power, the last power she gets, is she just throws a fireball that passes through people and burns them for a little while. Does a little dot damage. When she's in her dragon form, it is a wing buffet that she just kind of blows you away.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's a lot of she's a burst healer, sustained healer, high health healer, and zoner.
A healer.
She's a good healer. She's an all around just does everything healer. Her first ultimate was I believe it was like a big health percentage burst heal. Similar
It
to
makes
Rhaegar.
the person you're trying to heal your percentage of health, right?
That's right. Yeah. So if you're at like full health and somebody just eats all of the damage, you can pop that on them, and then after like a second or so, their health will immediately blip to whatever your health percentage is.
You hear that, Cho'Gall mains?
Or vice versa. If it always heals the person with the least amount of health, and you get the percentage of the person with the highest amount.
I didn't know that, actually.
So if you're the one eating a lot of damage, like let's say you've got Greymanes or Kerrigans hopping on you all the time, you can just blast your ultimate on a Cho'Gall or your tank, and then you'll get all of your tank's health back to you.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it is a super cool ultimate. I can't wait to see A lot of people use that. I do like the second ultimate though. Like that, I'm a little partial to that one. Her second ultimate is she flies into the sky in her dragon form and then rains down red fire from the sky, dealing. And it's not global, but it's a very wide area that she can drop these fireballs in, and the fireballs deal area in a damage that you target, or deals damage in an area that you target to all enemies, and heals allies that step in the fire or are hit by the fireball. And you're untargetable while this happens.
But if Alex Strauss's fire heals, what happened to Bolvar?
He lived. That's
But
why he's
not
a fiery
really.
man. Yeah, really. He's a
I mean,
fiery
he
man.
lives life as a fiery man now? That's no life to live.
I mean, he was already dead. Like, I don't know what you want. But yeah,
Redemption.
so that's looking pretty cool. Hanzo, they haven't revealed any of his specifics about his powers, but it looks like, he's pretty similar to every other Overwatch character, where they just bring their regular Overwatch powers into the game.
I really do
we
hope
got another
that with Hanzo's like twin dragon ult, I'm really hoping it's kind of like Sergeant Hammer's ult, the big rocket.
It is. It's global.
Well, besides being like it goes through the entire map.
Yeah, it's global.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's basically just like Sergeant Hammer's missile. I was gonna say, like, we added another global ult to the game, which is good. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the two new heroes. I'll pass the wheel to you on the rest of the heroes updates here.
So there's a lot of mechanical updates, and feel free to jump in when you have an opinion on them. I'm sure you're gonna have something to say right at the first one. Hanamura is getting a remake.
Yeah, as in they're dropping a nuke in it and calling it Nuketown and moving it to Call of Duty.
They didn't really like a lot of the... They didn't explain what they didn't like, but they were just saying that they didn't like what it is right now.
The player base will tell you what we didn't like about it.
Everything.
Everything. It was a horrible, terrible, awful, no good, very bad thing.
But it's getting a rework in the same sense that Haunted Minds got a rework. So hopefully it's going to be a lot better when it comes back.
It's promising, considering Haunted Minds came back and it was really great.
Oh, it's so fun. They talked about at the beginning of their What's Next video a release date rework, if you will. Basically, they just want to release things at a more steady pace. Normally, when they'd have a big update with a new character, it'd come with a bunch of reworks and a whole slew of skins and, an event thrown in there. And it's like, they felt the players were a little overwhelmed. So instead of releasing them all at once, they're going to have several smaller patches introducing all of them. Which, whatever. If it helps them, then I don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, if it's just a new system to get used to, or like, I guess you could say an existing system that they're just changing slightly, it's not terrible. It's whatever they want to do. It's not changing my gameplay experience, so it's not gonna ruin anything,
Right, exactly. And then there's going to be a UI change for something quick. It's going to show who's in certain vehicles or in traps. So say you're a Nubarak and you spit your web ult, you're going to see who's in that web ult. Or if you're Zagara and you maw a couple people, you'll see who you mawed, or who's in the Dragon Knight. Things of that nature. You'll see a little icon to see which character's in there and not just the name.
I liked it a lot better when it was a surprise, like, you start beating on the cocoon, like, ooh, I wonder who's behind door number... Oh, it's Stitches! Never mind, I'm out of here.
Never mind, this Nubarak's bad.
Yeah. I mean, I would zone a Stitches depending on how great he's doing.
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah. Played a lot of Anubarak as of recent. Having a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, he's so good.
He's pretty great.
And now, probably the one thing I don't like about all these new updates, voice chat is going to be implemented in-game without the need of the Battle.net app. This is dumb.
This is dumb.
This is really, really stupid.
Yeah, it's there's a reason. Take the world or not, take the Blizzard games that we know. Okay, how many of those competitive players do you know that are very nice to other people? There's a very, very small minority of people that are very nice when they play competitive games. I mean, just think of all the Overwatch bans we've had in the past years that Overwatch has been out, whether it's abusive chat, abusive voice chat, or trolling, or blah de blah. There's so much that can go wrong with voice chat. It is not needed. It is almost like the way that Blizzard is doing their new social system, or for their app is really good. I love all the new social changes. I like the group adding mechanic where you can create groups for everybody to just kind of hop right in. I've liked the things that they've subtly done with Facebook to connect people that may or may not have each other's battle tags, but you know that person by their Facebook name, so you can just add them through that, and you get their battle tag. So they've been doing a great job with social stuff, but things like voice chat in competitive games are going they're like the bane of its existence. They're going to hurt a community, and I feel Heroes of the Storm has built a really strong community, and a very I've met toxic people on Heroes of the Storm, but not to the degree of toxicity that I've seen in games like Overwatch.
Agreed.
Because they can talk to you. Yeah, you can ignore them. Yeah, you can mute them. But the problem is, first and foremost, you can hear them to begin with. Unless I choose to listen to somebody, most of the time, none of us want to hear you.
Yeah. Just the only way you're going to be playing online, if you really want voice chat that bad, Battle.net offers that. Create a group. You already type into them anyway, so invite them to a group and say, hey, now we can communicate better. That was the entire purpose of the Battle.net voice app.
Yeah.
We don't need a base in game. That's just dumb.
No. It's useless, and it does not need to be there.
But moving away from things that are stupid, we go to something the community's been begging for in comparison to, or in relation to ranked matches, performance-based matchmaking. So, someone's rank based on skill, it is going to be a lot higher than it was before. They're going to take reworking their entire, they called it the MMR system, the matchmaking ranked system. They're going to be reworking that completely to be based off of individual, what's the word? Performance. It's going to be, yes. Look, if you're a main Illidan, you're going to be able to get MMR points for high kills, high XP contribution, dealing most damage, and, just generally being there for team fights and taking out the squishies. However, if you're Kerrigan, you'll get that for how many deaths you have, or how many kills you get, and then for certain crowd control. Are you doing crowd control as someone who mains Kerrigan? That would give you more MMR. It's a whole big system, but basically, you are going to be looked at as an individual within a rank. And I think that's great.
I like that mostly because of how much of a team game Heroes of the Storm is compared to other MOBAs that have the potential for somebody to carry a team to victory by getting a bunch of kills or getting the best items in the game. Heroes of the Storm doesn't have that option. You can't carry a game because it's team XP, it's team levels, it's team pushing. Everything is based on the cooperation and structure of your team. Now, especially with the way quick match goes, you never know who you're going to get on your team. But as long as you did your role correctly and efficiently, and even above average, you're going to get rewarded for that. Even if you lost the game, you're not going to miss out on your ranking because you still did everything correctly.
And what this also does is it helps prevent smurfing and trolling. Because if you're a smurf, you're just going to go up higher. Like, your rank's going to get up higher, and, your MMR is going to, show you and put you with different smurf accounts.
Yeah.
And then if you're a troll, well, then you're just going to get put with other trolls because your MMR is so low. And I think that's a good thing that performance-based matchmaking does.
Oh, yeah. I totally agree.
Another kind of big update is the camera. It's going to be pushed back a little bit more. So long-range characters like Chromie will be seen in team fights. It doesn't look very significant until you compare the two.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something to look out for. You might not even notice it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the camera was fine, the way it was, but, if they want to push it back a little bit, depending on if I like it or not, hopefully they still give me the option to put the camera back the way it was or scroll in just a little bit.
No, I mean, you always have the option to scroll in, so I think that's fine. I think the new cameras are going to be a good thing because I'm sure they want to add more long-range characters like Chromie.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens in the long run. That might also have something to do with Hanzo as well. Who knows?
Oh yeah, who knows? It might have something to do with Hanzo. He might be a very, very ranged character.
Well, not only that, but they might be bringing his bounce shot arrows in too.
Oh, that'd be cool. And then Stealth is getting not a rework, but rather a reshade. Stealth is going to be a lot easier to see. It's going to appear basically translucent. You're going to see the outlines of the characters, but you still won't be able to target them with auto attacks. You can't target them with abilities, and when they stop moving, they turn completely invisible. Not like this kind of pseudo-faded, no, they are invisible when they stop moving. But while they're moving, you're going to have an easier time seeing them. I like this as someone who takes his glasses off when he plays games and doesn't have the best vision.
He likes that as somebody who gets ganked by Valeeras every time there's a Valeera.
Just throw me under the bus, Chris.
I will. I'm going to. You need to stop getting ganked by Valeeras.
Listen, when you're a Murky in the jungle, you can't help it.
Yeah, well, at least when you're a Murky, it's not so bad. It's when you play other characters when you get ganked by Valeeras.
Listen, I'm moving on. Nova was the first talked about as one of the updates to her stealth. So her passive is no longer going to be wait 2 seconds or wait 1 second and then you become stealth. No, you press the button, boom, you stealthed.
Yep, she gets Valeera's passive.
Pretty much. I like it. She also gets a 15% speed boost while stealth, so that talent's probably going to be gone.
Yeah, most likely.
And then, with that, they also reduced the damage on her Q. No idea why, but, whatever.
Yeah, well, we'll probably see a reasoning to that when the new patch comes in.
So that's basically, they're going to be doing the kind of a rework with all the stealth characters with their stealth mechanic. So we will see something new for Valeera, Zeratul, and all the other, and Samuro. That was the other stealth character.
Ah, yes. Well, he's not much of a stealth character. He's more or less just has the ability to stealth, because Greymane also has that too.
Right, but that's a talent. Like, Samuro gets that base.
Right.
They talked they were going to do something with Samuro. Remove him, let's hope.
Yeah, well, he's not as strong as he used to be, but he's still really annoying.
Lane updates. So, the laning phase as a whole is really going to be completely different, as map mechanics are going to change, lane mechanics are going to change, and merc camps are going to change a bit. So, in regards to the lane updates, trying to stall out towers till they're out of ammo, not a thing anymore. Towers have infinite ammo. I like this.
I do too. I think that's how it should have been. Like your towers, when they ran out of ammo, like it was bad enough that that Sylvanas could run up, just shoot an arrow at it, and it doesn't do anything. But when it just blatantly runs out of ammo, like what are you supposed to do?
And it took forever for it to get ammo back.
Yeah, it did. It was a build up. So no, I think that's gonna be promising.
And
To have your infinite ammo towers.
oh yeah, infinite ammo towers, good thing. I like it.
Oh yeah.
So another thing they're adding, or actually something they're removing, the back turret next to the actual towers.
Yeah.
Yeah, get rid of it. We don't need it anymore. It's kind of useless.
Yeah.
It's
I can see them getting rid of that.
Its only real use was protecting Abathur and Murky Eggs. But there's a new way to protect that now with ability added to the towers, True Sight, which reveals all stealth and enemies nearby. Cool. Now you'll know before you die and the tower will start shooting. At least they'll take a bit of chip damage.
Yeah, or you'll just scare them off altogether.
That's true. Regen globes are getting kind of reworked. More neutral globes are gonna drop. So you have a potential of getting double globes every time you lane. So that's cool. One of the biggest...
I like the idea of the double globe thing because it helps out with a lot of characters, say like with Leoric or Stitches, or even Tassadar, that have quests that require you to gather a lot of those regen globes to increase your health pool, your mana pool, your health regeneration. Like,
no, I agree.
It'll come into play quite a lot.
Absolutely, and what also comes into play is the new map mechanics and the more emphasis to lane instead of do 15 different things at once. Oh well, there's the first objective. We have to do this. They wanted to emphasize the laning phase. So the two new map mechanics are for maps like Dragon Shrine, Tomb of the Spider Queen, and Brax's Holdout. The objectives are going to spawn after 1 minute and 30 seconds. So very quick, like let's get right to it. But for bigger maps like Cursed Hollow and Sky Temple, and there's another one, I forget what it was, but bigger maps that require the entire team, their objective's not going to spawn until about 3 minutes, so there's plenty more time to lane there.
Oh yeah.
I love this change because it gives you a base on when it was supposed to start. Before, I was just under the impression that it went randomly.
Yeah, I think that, well, and that's the thing too, is it's gonna set a standard instead of having like a random algorithm for how this stuff works. It'll definitely make it seem like there's a pattern that you could get used to, so you can start setting up for team fights, you can start setting up for gathering objectives. So it's going to be an all-around good change.
Oh yeah. And then the last kind of mechanic they're adding is the change in merc camps. So they didn't go into too much detail. They only mentioned 3 camps, but they said they're going to be looking at them all. The 2 that I thought were significant were the hard mage camp and the siege camp. So if the mage of the hard camp or the bruiser camp is going to give a spell, armor, aura, just all around him. So it's more incentive to push a lane with him instead of maybe going and splitting up back again. I like that.
Okay.
Just having that extra spell armor to help fight against them just helps a lot.
Oh yeah.
It's more incentive than just a distraction on the lane that I usually see people getting camps for.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And then, me and you, Chris, we were kind of laughing at this update, but people did not know that you can dodge Easy Camp's rocks.
Yes.
And we say Easy Camp, I mean Siege Camp. It's beta things.
Yeah, beta things are stuck in our head. Like we call it easy camp, we call it hard camp. We can't get over it. Don't try to change us. We are who we are.
Just love me, Mom!
That's all I want.
But apparently people didn't know you could dodge their attacks. They didn't see the icon on the ground. They're going to try to improve that and make it a little more noticeable. That's it. That's the only change for Siege Easy Camp.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, I'm completely okay with that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much all of the Heroes of the Storm. And we can move on to a game I just saw you jump on.
Uh-huh.
And that would be Hearthstone and all of the cool stuff they added.
Oh man, Hearthstone is looking. This is looking to be the best Hearthstone expansion ever, and I may be biased beyond all reason by saying that, but I don't care.
The new expansion for Hearthstone is going to be Kobolds and Catacombs, based on
Kobolds
Dungeons and Dragons.
Kobolds and candles.
What?
Kobolds and candles.
No, Kobolds and Catacombs.
Oh, candles.
You know, take candle. I ain't talking. This is going to be one of the most fun expansions based on all the new things they're adding and a couple of the cards they've shown. Oh my gosh. So, I want to quickly talk about some of the new stuff they're adding. They're adding a new keyword, which is the recruit keyword. So, there's a warrior card that just says recruit a minion. Costs 6. Recruit lets you summon a random minion from your deck.
It's gonna be brutal.
It is going to be absolutely brutal. They had a little demo where they used that card, summoned a charged Devilsaur, which is a 7/7 with charge, and just rammed the opponent.
Oh man.
This could be great for things of like end of turn effects or high cost cards. I can see Big Priest using this.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be great.
A lot of potential for these cards, and that's what I love about when a new Hearthstone expansion comes out, is that they always bring in something. Well, at least the ones as of recent have been bringing in a new card type, whether it be things like the adapt or the things like the new hero cards that replaced your cards in the Knights of the Frozen Throne, and now we'll be getting the recruit. You know, recruit is just another thing to add to the list of special effects for cards.
Yeah, I really like it. There's also a couple other types of cards. We have the what is it called? The artifact cards, which level up as you complete certain conditions. So, say for example, you have the Druid spell gem card, and it normally just deals 1 damage, costs 1. But if you gain 3 armor, it upgrades in your hand, and it deals double that. It does 4 damage for the cost of 1. And these can upgrade, I believe, 3 times. So, I think that's a really neat idea.
Yeah, I like that idea a lot.
I like the idea of earning that kind of upgrade. But, you know, the cost isn't changing. These crazy things aren't happening. It's just, I earned this, I'm going to use it.
Oh, yeah.
Another feature is going to be unidentified cards. So, unidentified cards are going to have different effects every time you draw them. They'll have a base effect. So, for instance, the priest got the unidentified elixir, which is a 3 cost that says give a minion +2/+2 and an additional effect. And when you draw it, that's when you're going to know it. So it adds a bit of randomness. Cool.
I actually didn't know about that one.
Yeah, I'm surprising you.
Yeah, that one threw me off. That is really cool.
It's going to be great. We're also, finally, after so many expansions, getting legendary weapons and items.
Oh yes,
and
it's funny that Hearthstone is finally getting the legendary weapons and artifacts, right as Legion is about to get rid of them. Almost like it's passing the torch, like, you know, when Varian died in the beginning of the Legion, he didn't die, he just went to the Nexus.
Exactly.
And when Gul'dan died, he went to the Nexus. So when we lose all of our artifacts, they go to card games.
I mean, turn everything into a card game. I'll play it.
Yeah, why not? I would.
So the first of these legendary items introduced was, weirdly enough, Dragon Soul.
Dragon Soul.
Which is a 3-cost card, a 0/3 because it is an amulet. You can't hit people with an amulet.
Nope.
That after you
could.
cast 3 spells in a turn, you summon a 5/5 dragon. Which
So good.
I think if you play something like Miracle Rogue, which hasn't been in the scene for a long time, but I believe once this is introduced, I can see it happening more. I can see Yogg Saron being played again.
Oh yeah, I mean, like as weird as it would be to see Yogg get playtime nowadays, I would like to see him make a comeback.
The idea that you can swarm the field with these very 0-cost, 1-cost, these many cheap cards, and then preparation to help with the higher cost cards to make your next spell cost 0, which in turn counts for a spell. It's too much. You can get that 5/5 dragon easily.
Oh yeah, easily.
The last new feature that this is bringing in is something I'm so excited for, more than I was excited for any adventure introduced in Hearthstone. And that's the idea of the battle in the catacombs. It's a dungeon-style adventure, if you will. I wouldn't call it an adventure, though.
It's a boss rush.
It is. That's what it is. A boss rush. You are given a base deck, and you try and win against these bosses. You're trying to beat 8. And after you beat them, with each one you beat, you'll be granted 3 cards you could add to your dungeon deck. And you're going to constantly do this until you have that perfect dungeon deck. And when you lose all those cards and you start over again.
Yeah, it's brutal. It almost forces you to be the very best, like no one ever was.
It's true. And I think this is just, it's perfect. This is all I wanted. I wanted something new. Like, an adventure is cool, but something new is so much better.
Oh yeah, and we are still getting an adventure for this expansion for Cobalt and Catacombs, but we are also getting that new boss rush mode.
There's only been like 10 cards introduced. Pre-purchase it now. It's $50, $49.99. Do it. Just do it.
I know I'm going to this weekend.
I'm probably gonna do it on my next paycheck.
It's gonna be sweet. I can't wait.
And we haven't even been shown all of the cards. Also, don't forget to log into Hearthstone, because you will get your Mare and the Fox.
That's true. Well, if you went to BlizzCon.
Well, that's how you get a golden one. I believe they are just giving away a Mare and the Fox.
Okay, that explains why I got a gold one.
Yeah, because
I don't know how I feel about that now. So everybody gets it, and I just get a gold version of it.
I mean, disenchant it if you don't want it.
That's kind of stupid.
I mean, that's
Sorry, Blizzard. I love you, man, or men, people, ladies, everybody. Blizzard, the company. I love you, but man, like that's what I got. I got a card that everybody else gets. I'm a little salty about that.
But it's golden. You can get like 1,600 dust from that.
Though? You get like what?
You get like 1,600 dust from. Actually, more than 1,600.
No, wrong. You only get like 800 dust.
Really?
Yeah, disenchanting gold legendaries. It's only like 800. I don't know. Let me log back into Hearthstone and I'll find out.
Updates on this later. Because we're going to be moving on.
I know it's a burning question that we all want to know now, but we'll
But we're gonna be moving on to sadly the last topic of this Blizz Biz,
Last topic.
and it's for Overwatch and all of the amazing things they're bringing.
Bend Overwatch gets to stand upright this time.
Absolutely, because they're adding something we all wanted. We all wanted nods to other Blizzard games.
I mean, that's why I love Heroes of the Storm so much.
Well, exactly. And I like it when Blizzard kind of makes their own universe with this. So with Overwatch, when we were told not only are we getting Blizzard-themed skins, but we're getting a new map, which is an amusement park of Blizzard games,
Blizzard Land.
it's the best map ever. You wanna be Reinhardt
Land.
running around Stormwind? You be Reinhardt running around Stormwind.
It's amazing.
It's the only thing I asked for, and I hope this kind of trend continues. These skins also are going to be in the default box. It's not like a special event. No, they're here to stay. Go ahead and buy them if you want.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. And you know, it's good that they're here to stay though, because it's a way to show off more of the Blizzard of the Blizzard
The Blizzard
franchise.
games.
The Blizzard games. Yeah,
we must
no,
show off the Blizzard games.
It's more of a way to show off the other Blizzard games, the franchise, the world that is Blizzard and
The
everything.
world
they have.
that is Warcraft.
That's right. Also, side note, you can't disenchant Martin the Fox, either one of them.
Good.
No,
Live with
not
it.
good. Although I do kind of want him though, because it is a Princess Bride reference.
Yes,
My
it
name
is.
is Martin Fox. You took my treasure. Prepare to die. Right. Sorry. Anyway.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah. No. I really like this map. It looks really good. I like the Nexus arcade that you can go into. I like that you can go into the Stormwind Trade District courtyard. They have an inn that you can go into. They have the Starcraft spaceship area with some Zergy spots. They have the Hearthstone game boards that you can run by with people playing Hearthstone.
Wouldn't it be funny if
it's
there was like real people playing Hearthstone?
Yeah, I think their servers would explode if that were the case.
Oh,
But
it's
yeah,
true.
I mean it's so cool, man. I think this is gonna be a really good.
I might
it's
jump
good.
on a couple games.
Oh yeah, like I know I'm gonna go back to Overwatch for a bit just to play on that map specific. Hell, even if I have to make my own custom games, I'm gonna.
I'll join.
Yeah,
And then
I'm gonna do that.
there's one last bit of Overwatch content that was shown at BlizzCon, and that was the new cinematic.
Yes. Oh man,
Honor and Glory.
the Reinhardt cinematic. If you have not watched it yet, you need to watch it to sustain your life.
It
is
is
so good.
Really good.
My favorite until that one was the Shimada brothers. This one blows that one out of the water.
I'm
was
still
so
with
good.
the Shimada brothers.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This one, there was just way too much feels in this one. More feels than the Shimada brothers one.
No, I understand that. It was the first time at the end we saw Reinhard actually get rid of the happy, cheery voice. We saw him get serious.
Yeah. He knew trouble was afoot and he had to go back and serve, you know.
I want to see more of that, honestly. If there was ever going to be more Blizzard cinematics of Reinhardt and showing off the Overwatch storyline, I want to see more of that, Blizzard. I want to see more of a serious Reinhardt, because we already know him as the big jolly giant who protects us. I want to see him, psychologically fight with himself.
Yeah. I don't know about that. I'm okay with the Jolly Giant. You know, I think that works out better for his character. we don't need any more edgelords in Overwatch.
I
and
disagree. We need everyone to wear Reaper masks.
I feel like that's what you're asking for, is for edgelord Reinhardt, and
I don't want
I'm
edgelord. I just want him to feel serious more.
He is serious.
I don't know, man. He's just when he's laughing in the middle of combat, I can't take him seriously. I don't want to shoot him. I want to have a beer with him.
Yeah, I mean, he seems like the kind of guy I'd like to have a beer with. Him and Brand Bronzebeard.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Like, imagine the stories those two could tell and who would outdrink the other.
And that's something you can vote on in the comments. Please vote.
Yeah, go for it. Go, like, just please vote on who you think would outdrink the other, Brand Bronzebeard or Reinhardt, and then just comment right under that hashtag tall like thrall and all the other stupid crap we said today. Just put it all in one big comment.
Just one giant. Make it like a 5-page comment. I will
like hold the A key for like 2 minutes and 13 seconds, and then cast your vote.
And then hashtag tall like thrall. So that's gonna be it for this Blizz Bizz. Be sure to like the video if you liked it, dislike if you didn't. We like feedback. I'm gonna be reading every.
Don't hit that dislike button.
If you hit that dislike button, you are not tall like thrall.
Yeah, that's right. You will be a hunched over orc forever.
Forever, and no one wants that.
That's right. No, definitely. You know, this has been a long episode. We apologize, but man, there was so much to cover at BlizzCon, and I didn't want to miss out on anything, so that we could get everything to you, you know, as quickly as we could, and then, you know, in the future episodes, we'll be able to talk more about more like things that we would like to see, more personal and opinions than really just news. You know, like we are a Blizzard news show, but we also do like to share opinions. We do. I love to spout my opinion, but you know, I like to hear other people's opinions. So, you know, you guys can always throw down comments on what you think about any of the games, what's your favorite moments in games, what's your favorite thing about BlizzCon, what you like and dislike about me and Alex. I mean, if you're gonna put something negative, at least make it clever, because I will just laugh at you if it's not.
He will. I've seen him.
I only respect clever. Only thing.
Clever or witty?
Clever or witty. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, you're right.
It's like 2 a.m.
It is like, it's about 1:25. And this is where we're going to call it. So thank you all for watching, and join us hopefully next week for the next Blizz Bizz.
Hopefully next week, Blizz Bizz 2.0!
Woo!